Hello, beauty, and welcome to the Juicy Astrology for Friday, June 11th through Thursday, June 17th. I'm Divinely Jennifer, and I'm coming in from outside. Hopefully the sun behind me won't be too distracting, but it is just too beautiful not to be outside. So how are you feeling after the new moon solar eclipse? I'm witnessing a lot of people stepping away from commitments where they feel they are no longer being served. This is creating holes in structures and relationships that can no longer stand on their own without them. I get the visual of the game of Jenga. At some point, the structure or relationship falls down. It will be interesting to see what new structures and relationships emerge in their place. It is so important that we feel alignment in our hearts with wherever we are at or whoever we are in relationship with. And yet there are times when it's wise to wait to release ourselves from a situation until the new structure is built, especially as it pertains to our own well-being. At least proceed with caution before taking the big leap until we are out of eclipse season on June 24th. As I mentioned in my new moon recording, Venus is the star of the show this lunar cycle, and she makes many aspects this week. Overall, the energy is a little stressful. Lots of adjustments to intimate relationships, the potential for big thunderstorms and earthquakes, and some tears to shed. Remember that every stressful transit has its blessings as well. Likewise, there are some really lovely moments, especially for family, Mother Earth, and healing ancestral wounds. When in doubt, give generously of your love and compassion, and you can't go wrong. Healthwise, the best things you can do for yourself this week are drink clean water, spend time in nature, and breathe. Rest if you're feeling tired, and move with joy if you're energized. The message is to listen lovingly to your body, especially while Vesta is in Virgo. Vesta wants you to respect your body because it's the only one you get in this lifetime. If you'd like to better understand how this astrology fits in with your natal chart and state of health, please book a reading with me at www.divinelyjennifer.com. You can also request a copy of your natal chart by emailing me your birth date, birth location, and time if you have it to hello@divinelyjennifer.com. I want to make astrology accessible for you so that you can thrive and be of service to your highest self, just like this Virgo moon this week. So with no further ado, let's get to the juicy astrology for June 11th through June 17th. And remember, all times listed are Pacific Daylight Time, so please adjust accordingly for your time zone. And a tad bit moody. She is carefree today with a trine to Jupiter in the morning and then conjuncts Venus at 11:59 p.m. So that'll be June 12th for most of you. You may find yourself crying tears of love today. At 2:07 a.m., Venus in Cancer has a quincunx to the South Node in Sagittarius. They're both at 10 degrees 46 minutes of their signs. The love goddess is ready to let go of old paradigms about love and abundance. This is part of a yod, a finger of God, with Saturn and Juno through Monday. Venus is committed to her destiny. Mars enters Leo at 6:33 a.m. Mars has survived his transit through Cancer, the sign of his fall, and he happily moves into Leo, where he is exuberant, courageous, creative, loyal, and proud. He'll make a couple of tough squares and oppositions during his time in Leo, but he will also conjunct Venus in the next lunar cycle, setting the stage for hot, fiery, steamy passion. He'll be in Leo until July 29th, paving the way for his queen, Venus, as she follows. Please note that all the planets transiting through Leo this summer will square Uranus in Taurus and oppose Saturn in Aquarius. So we're really going to feel that energy between boundaries and structures and discipline and breakdown, innovation, breakthroughs, and aha moments. At 1:42 p.m., Saturn in Aquarius squares Ceres in Taurus. They're both at 13 degrees, 12 minutes, and Saturn is retrograde. I spoke about this on the new moon recording. Saturn is not known for creativity or nurturing, but he does recognize that in order to build new structures, it takes some creativity and practice. How do you get to Carnegie Hall? Practice, practice, practice. Saturn won't stop until he feels it's right. And then at 4:15 p.m., Mars in Leo has a the eclipse and Mars retrograde. A sesquiquadrate to retrograde Juno in Sagittarius. And this is a stressful moment for committed partnerships. Mars wants to be independent and passionate, not fully committed. He would rather have fun than be emotionally intimate. Hold on, puppy. Hi, puppy. Oh, somebody wants to be snuggled with. All right, Saturday, June 12th. The waning moon is enjoying her time in Cancer today, her home sign. She has a sensitive moment with wounded Chiron in the early morning hours, but then she enjoys the energy of home and hearth. Today at 11:28 a.m., Venus in Cancer squares Chiron in Aries. They're both at 12 degrees, 28 minutes of their signs. This is a lovely moment to nurse sensitive wounds. Venus listens to Chiron's suffering and then offers a warm hug and a glass of homemade lemonade. At 10:38 p.m., Venus in Cancer sextiles Uranus in Taurus. They're both at 13 degrees, 2 minutes. This is the opening sextile after their conjunction on April 22nd. How have you been innovating and/or experiencing breakthroughs and aha moments when caring for Mother Earth and your physical body? This transit supports innovating, tender, loving care. It's kind of an oxymoron. Innovative TLC. But try something new for yourself, whether that's a new form of movement, lying naked in your backyard, feeling the sunshine and the grass on your back, maybe doing some float therapy. Feel into what feels right for your physical body. Sunday, June 13th. This is a challenging day for the waxing moon in Cancer. She's in a T-square with Eris and Pluto, just like Mars was last week. But she doesn't have the fight that Eris and Mars do. The moon in Cancer wants peace. She goes void with a stressful, sensitive opposition to Pluto in Capricorn at 4:16 a.m. If you can help it, don't start anything new until after the moon moves into Leo at 11:28 a.m., where she is happy, audacious, bold, and creative. Otherwise, whatever you start may have that stressful, sensitive, fighting energy. At 1:14 a.m., Venus in Cancer has a quincunx to Saturn in Aquarius. They're both at 13 degrees, 10 minutes. This is part of the Yod, the finger of God, with the South Node and Juno in Sag. Venus is committed to releasing old beliefs about committed partnerships, creating a new paradigm for love and intimacy. You may need to set some boundaries with love, especially in intimate partnerships and marriage, or you may need to set boundaries with people who want to have an intimate partnership with you and you don't want to have it. And this may feel a little extra stressful with the moon, Eris, and Pluto T-square that's happening at the same time. At 4:39 p.m., the sun in Gemini squares Neptune in Pisces. They're both at 23 degrees, 9 minutes of their sign. First Mercury on May 22nd, and then Venus on May 27th, and then Mercury retrograde again on June 5th, squared Neptune in watery, ambiguous Pisces. Now it's the sun's turn to shine his light on some of the illusions and delusions perpetuated in the last 3 months. Focus on your dreams and intuitions. Create art and what feels good. You may have a good cry. So make the most of this transit by really focusing on creativity and intuition versus focusing on the lies that are out there and all those deceptions, delusions, and BS. At 6:03 p.m., Venus and Cancer sextile Ceres in Taurus. They're both at 14 degrees 1 minute. This is another conception transit. Nourish your fertility and creative offerings, your children, family, your fur babies, and the earth. Love and compassion plant the seeds for peace. Make an offering to the earth and to your sacred womb, no matter how you gender identify. I got a tickle in my throat there. Hopefully you're not getting blinded by that sun behind me. Monday, June 14th. See, now I'm crying. Monday, June 14th, the biggest day of the week. It is the biggest day of the week. The waxing moon is in Leo all day. She has a T-square with Uranus and Saturn. So another T-square for the moon with Uranus and Saturn at 12:27-28 p.m. with Uranus as the energetic focal point. The message here is that insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Do something different. Aha moments, breakthroughs, and breakdowns abound. Heed any warnings about electrical storms and tornadoes very seriously. At 12:29 a.m., Jupiter in Pisces has a quintile to Ceres in Taurus. Expansive, generous, nurturing, creative, fertile. These are some of the words of this lovely transit. It's a moment of growth for anything you are creating or nurturing. And at 6:44 a.m., Venus in Cancer has a quincunx to retrograde Juno in Sagittarius. They're both at 14 degrees 39 minutes. I already talked about some of the stressful energy and stressful adjustments around setting boundaries in committed partnerships or where you don't want to have a committed partnership. We are really feeling the energy of the eclipses. Don't release from the relationship unless you are 300% sure. Otherwise, you may regret it and you may have to come crawling back. Here's the big transit of the day, of the week. Retrograde Saturn in Aquarius squares Uranus and Taurus at 3:01 p.m. They're both at 13 degrees 6 minutes of their signs. We feel the energy of this all year. Every astrologer has talked about it. I mention it pretty much every other week. This is the second of 3 exact squares between the master of structure and discipline, Saturn, and the revolutionary, Uranus. Saturn in Aquarius knows that we need to break down old structures of the patriarchy. We really felt that in January of 2020 when he had his conjunction with Pluto in Capricorn. Uranus tends to break things down harder than necessary, like using a sledgehammer to break down a cardboard box, especially if we're a little dense. So many of our large-scale systems are broken beyond repair and need to be torn down in order to remake them. Come here. Jump. Good girl. We face potential breakdowns to financial and banking systems, farming and food supply. Definitely a good week to get to know your farmers at the farmers market. Electrical storms could happen, earthquakes, and more. So just like I said earlier when I was talking about the moon, take all storm warnings seriously. This transit does have some benefit, as you can use the energy to help you create new structures and boundaries in your own life. And hopefully, you've already been creating new structures and boundaries in your own life. Oh, this puppy. At 5:39 p.m., Mars in Leo has a quincunx and inconjunct to Jupiter in Pisces. They're both at 2 degrees 8 minutes of their sign. Some potential conflict within our inner psyche, our subconscious. Jupiter is happy and also a little sensitive and a whole lot intuitive and empathic in Pisces. Be mindful today of taking big risks involving fire and water. It's probably not the best day to learn how to fire dance or bungee jump over a river. Wear a life jacket if you're going into a big river. Tuesday, June 15th, the waning moon is in Leo until she goes void with a sextile to the sun in Gemini at 10:27 a.m., encouraging us to tell our people how much we love them. Boldly, loudly, get creative with it. She's void all day before she moves into Virgo at 8:01 p.m., where she is determined, health-oriented, dedicated, maternal, and loving. At 1 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, retrograde Juno in Sagittarius has a quincunx to Ceres in Taurus. They're both at 14 degrees 29 minutes. So many quincunxes this week, all these inconjuncts. This is a stressful moment for intimate relationships. One person is feeling nurturing, creative, and fertile, while the other might want to travel and philosophize. The latter doesn't want to feel tied down by a child, whether that child is an actual physical child, a new business together, a new partnership, something new. At 3:13 a.m., the sun in Gemini has a quintile to Chiron in Aries. The brief message of this is listening is healing medicine. And then at 6:51 a.m., the sun in Gemini has a sextile to Eris in Aries at 24 degrees 40 minutes. Eris is Mars' sister. So this is more listening energy. This time to the wounded feminine. We're listening to the wounded feminine, and she has a whole lot to say about the lies and suppression she's been witnessing. And she asks the sun to shine a light on all of it. At 9:54 p.m., Venus in Cancer has a biquintile to the South Node in Sagittarius. This is loving up family and old ancestral stories, maybe recalling fond memories of your grandma or your godmother or some really lovely, familiar family member, whether that's a blood relation or just a soul relation. Wednesday, June 16th is another challenging day. The waxing moon in Virgo has her monthly T-square to the nodes at 3:28 p.m. Focus on health and your daily schedule. And you may also feel some of the energy of the eclipse come up with this T-square to the nodes. But all day long, you're really going to be feeling that intensity to focus, be productive on your work, and you might want to whistle while doing so. At 7:22 a.m., retrograde Mercury in Gemini squares Vesta in Virgo. They're both at 17 degrees 31 minutes. Mercury may get a tongue lashing from the village elder, the village grandmother, if he's caught telling lies. She'll make him fix whatever mess he's gotten into by the tall tales he's telling. At 7:52 a.m., Venus in Cancer is sesquiquadrate Jupiter in Pisces. Maybe a time for another cry because you see and feel all the pain and suffering in the world. Let it out and then get back to love. At 11:47 a.m., the sun in Gemini squares Pallas Athena in Pisces. Pallas is tired of all the lying and censorship happening in the world. She's about ready to stop negotiating and start fighting. Give diplomacy one more try before you pull out your superhero fighting skills. At 10:23 p.m., the sun in Gemini is quincunx Pluto in Capricorn. They're both at 26 degrees 15 minutes. It can be hard to stand in our divine sovereign power when the patriarchy does all they can to disempower any messages or communication that's not mainstream or status quo. Feel into the discomfort, overcome it, and stand in your power, even if just for a few seconds. Memorize how it feels to stand in your power and keep practicing until it becomes second nature. Thursday, June 17th, the waxing moon in Virgo doesn't have time to get stuck in victim mode or suffering. She's on a mission to be of service to her highest self. This is really the message for the week. Don't get stuck in victim mode or suffering. Be on a mission to be of service to your highest self. She goes void with a square to the sun in Gemini at 8:54 p.m. And this is the first quarter moon since the new moon solar eclipse on June 10th. This is a good moment to take action or make adjustments to your new moon intention. And there are no major or minor transits today. All right, beauties. Hopefully you weren't too blinded by that sun, the setting, beautiful setting sun behind me. At least it's starting to set. Won't be dark for another couple hours out here in the Sierra foothills. And too distracted by this puppy here who insists on sitting on my lap. As always, please reach out for help by booking a reading with me at divinelyjennifer.com. And know that as challenging as these times might feel at times, they are transits and they too shall pass. I am sending you so much love. I will be back with the Juicy Astrology for June 18th through June 24th, 2021, which will include, that yummy full moon in Cancer and Capricorn. Have a beautiful week, and I'll see you the next time. I'm Divinely Jennifer.